So I don't usually go live on my YouTube channel, but for various reasons I've just decided to do this as a live because I've gone live across all of my Facebook pages today. I've not got much data left on my phone and whatever reason, so I just thought, you know what, I'll do this as a live and you'll still get the same value. But anyway, if you want to then go over to my Facebook pages, which are A Debt Free Life, Coach Marianne Hanson, Any Journeys Counselling, and my personal page, Marianne Hanson, you'll see all of the live videos from today. But I really appreciate and value my YouTube subscribers, because I feel that on every platform you're on, this is what most people who run a business will know, there's a different audience, so it's important for me as a person to make videos that suit the audience, but also to appreciate you all as well. So what I want to talk about here is, as you're aware, I'm a counsellor. I work with couples and individuals, so the majority of my videos will be on counselling topics, and it will normally either be relationships. I do a lot of stuff about personal development, law of attraction stuff. Occasionally I'll talk about debt and finances because of my debt support page on Facebook. I'll also talk about relationships and self-worth and low self-esteem. So in this video, I want to talk about 5 negative patterns that can destroy or ruin your relationship. And the information I'm going to share with you is based on just a generalisation of the types of couples that come to me for counselling. I never ever disclose or talk about any of my clients that come to me for counselling. I just make general comments. Also, this information is through what I've read, what I've learned, and through my experience of working with couples. So the first key pattern or negative pattern that can come up a lot in couples is competitiveness. And there's a great book out there called Before I Say I Do. Is it called that? I'm probably wrong. Getting to I Do, that's it, by, I can't remember her name, Patricia Allen. So it came to me. And she talks about how competitiveness in relationships is a major thing that can destroy a relationship, because you're not working as a team. You're seeing your partner as your competitor. And as long as you continue to do that, it means that you're not seeing your partner as your support system. You're not seeing your partner as being on the same team as you. You're just viewing that person as your competitor. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a competitive spirit or energy. I'm a competitive person when it comes to winning games, when it comes to achieving goals. But if I'm sitting with my young nieces and nephews and we're playing a game and I can see they're getting upset because they're losing, I'm not going to say, oh, it doesn't matter if they're losing, and they're 5 years old, I'm just going to win because I can. I know that the damage it will cause for me to do that is going to outweigh our relationship. So I'll just let them win, and let them be happy and smile, their children. So let them do it. It's not going to be any cost to me. But when you're in a relationship and you're just competing and the main thing for you is to win, it causes disagreements and arguments, because you see yourself as you have to win at everything, and that includes arguments. You have to win at making decisions. You have to win when it comes to the children, and it can only really go downhill because it's not a negative. It creates a negative atmosphere. So the second part is poor communication. That's the second pattern, and it includes not listening or being selective in what you hear, communicating with people at the wrong time. And there's a video on my channel called 5 Wrong Times to Communicate with Someone, and it includes things like, if someone's in the middle of a video game, people do this thing where they walk in front of the TV and say, I need to speak to you, or they switch someone's game off and say, you're not going to play that, or take someone's phone out their hand. All you're creating there is a scenario where that person is not going to engage with what you got to say. They might listen, but they're not really going to hear what you're saying, because you've been disrespectful to them. They've seen it as you've interrupted what they were doing, so they're focused on getting you away from the front of the TV because they want to continue watching their game, or they want their phone back, so they're listening to you so they can have that phone back that you just snatched off them. So instead of just thinking to yourself, I need to talk to this person right now, regardless, think about the timing. If you know that your partner gets stressed when they come in from work, don't choose that as the time to have a serious discussion about anything. In fact, don't even have any communication. Well, okay, you can say hello and how's your day been at work, but not serious discussions. Another poor communication issue is blaming your partner for everything, being defensive when you're trying to have a communication between you, and holding back on you really feel, okay? If you make that decision as a person that you're going to hold back and you're not going to express how you feel about something, you can either, when you suppress something, it comes out in certain ways. It doesn't matter how much you think you're doing well at hiding or suppressing something. The brain and just how like the world works is there's always going to be triggers, or there's going to be something about that suppression that brings it back up in a certain way. It could come out in behaviour, it could come out in anger, frustration, resentment. So instead of holding back what you really feel and then exploding at the wrong time with your partner, you can make a decision that you are no longer going to hold back on how you feel. You're going to choose the right time to communicate how you feel. You might do it in a letter. You might write down all your feelings so that they're out of your body, they're on the piece of paper, and you might hold on to that letter until the right time. This is something I've done in the past. When I've felt angry or I felt frustrated with someone, but the timing isn't right to actually express that, I've wrote it in a letter, I've sealed the letter, not sent it, and the funny thing is, a week later or even 2 days later, I've not felt like that anymore. So I've ripped the letter up and threw it away, but I feel better because I've not suppressed my true feelings. The person doesn't know, but I'm not feeling that way anymore. So there's lots of ways in that sense. Number 3 is a lack of support. This is a pattern of behaviour that causes issues in relationships. Your partner might have various. You might feel they're absurd ideas that they want to do, dreams, goals, ambitions. Maybe they're 50 and they're still saying they want to play for the NBA. You know, they want to be the best basketballer in the world. They want to have a hit song or whatever it is. Fair enough, you can express your true feelings, but you just have to be sensitive to the fact that this is your partner and it's something they're passionate about and they love. You would want to tread with care in terms of saying, okay, let's discuss this like properly or whatever. But when you're dismissive of your partner's dreams and their goals, and when you don't support them in certain decisions that are made, it's going to lead to a lot of resentment, and your partner might not tell you till further down the line. You know, there a lot of times with the couples I've worked with, without being specific, and with the people I know in person as well, in their relationships, things have built up and built up and built up. They've not received support, they've come in with ideas, they're coming with decisions, they're making suggestions, it's all been shut down, and then eventually they just say, I've had enough of this, you're not supportive of me, you never support me in anything I do or say. And so that relationship is over, and the person can't bring it back then because you've not allowed that support to happen. So the 2 other things, so we've done competitiveness, we've talked about poor communication, thirdly, lack of support. The 4th thing is a lack of physical connection and intimacy outside of the bedroom or only during sex. So it's a given that most couples will have sex. You know what I mean? That's why you're in a relationship. You're not with your friend unless you have taken a vow of not to have sex before marriage and you were kind of working towards that. Unless there's reasons that you've both agreed when you got into that relationship that you were not going to have sex. A lot of times it might happen because of circumstances, but what I'm trying to say, no one purposely is going into a relationship with the idea that they're not going to have sex with their partner, because then it is to you, it's going to be like more of a friendship, or it's not really a relationship without that. So the area to work on really is the physical connection and intimacy outside of the bedroom and outside of when sex is occurring. If you want your relationship to be stronger, and if you want to have a connection which will take you through the tough times, then that's the area to work on. I've got a video, I think it's on here, calling Creating Intimacy in Your Relationship. It's also on my Facebook page, similar thing. And it can just be random things, really. You know, if I feel distant from my partner in the past, I might move closer to them physically by sitting nearer to them. giving a hug if it's needed, even at random times, a hug even if it's not needed. Initiate affection. You know, your partner will appreciate it because it's like it's a bank account that's being built. So the more little kisses you plant in, the little notes you're making. I know people I've been in relationships with that they've said to me, what I liked about you was you used to bring me little gifts that you knew I liked. You used to write little notes when you came to visit. You used to always be interested in what I'm doing. So creating that level of affection and intimacy means that not only will it be enhanced when you are kind of intimate in a physical way in the bedroom and stuff, it also means when things are going wrong, your partner will have that bank account, which means you've already deposited so much intimacy and connection into it that they're going to find it harder to throw the relationship away. So what you're doing is you're making a building block there. And the final one is one that I've said earlier on as well. I'm probably going to have to do a separate video on because there's so much intricacy to it, is parent-adult-child dynamic. So when you're operating as an adult, what you should be aiming for is to communicate at an adult level. Here's an adult here, you're an adult, we communicate at the same level. So we're both speaking the same language, we're communicating clearly, we're talking as two adults. When people go down the other path of either communicating with their partner as though the partner is a child, or where one person's communicating in a particular way and then that person is displaying childlike behaviours, sulking, baby voices, pouting, going into tantrums, walking away and saying, you don't like me anymore, and I'm not going to talk to you, and that sort of thing, you're creating damage within that relationship. And the same as if you are communicating on a level where you're acting as though you are the parents, so you're treating your child like they're your son or they're your daughter if it's a woman. So what you want to aim for is, instead of instructing, demanding, sulking, putting on baby voices or acting all like, childish when you don't get your own way, you want to aim for getting to a point where you can be clear and communicate as an adult. Because if you continue in a pattern where you are speaking to your partner in a dismissive way or behaving in a childish way or in a parent way, it's going to diminish sexual chemistry between you, but it's also going to have a damage later on down the line. They're going to build up a lot of resentment because no one wants to date their mother or their father. No one wants to date like a baby, or not even date a baby. No one wants to be in an immature relationship where every time something's said that you don't like, you, instead of saying, I do not like how you are speaking to me, you go, you make, sulk, you pout, you don't speak to them for ages, you start crying, it just won't work, it won't be maintained. So I hope you found this video useful. And please, if you want to make an inquiry about counselling, please, you can send me a message on here, but you can also go to my Facebook page, Enya Journeys Counselling. If you like this video, please like, share, and continue to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Have a great day. Bye.